All right, we are starting now as a new live. Let's wait and see if anybody comes in and joins us. I do expect some people to be coming in to join us here soon. Going to be just waiting. That's all. We're just waiting to see if somebody comes in and joins us tonight. Oh well. And I didn't advertise this one very early, so I didn't expect a lot of people to just jump right on in, but we'll see if anybody comes in and joins us here. There we go. We got some people coming in. Everybody, say hi. There we go. Greg and Gina. How you doing, Greg? Mr. and Mrs. Folder Job. How are you doing tonight? All right, so we're starting to get some people in here. All right, so a few changes have been made around here. The first and most important one, I think I've already mentioned the leaf water system that we brought in, and it's not doing as good of a job as I wanted it to or I expected it to. Hi, Charlene, how are we doing? It isn't doing a job I was expecting it to do. I mean, it's doing good. We got soft water, but it's still not as pure as I expected it to be with the carbon filters and everything. I might have to get in touch with them and say, hey, something doesn't seem right to me. Maybe you can tell me what's right, what's wrong. I don't know. I'm not a water filtration expert kind of guy. I did baking soda for years, and so I don't know. That was something that was on my list of things to do, because once that water treatment system got put in place, I created an 18. Good to see you too, Charlene. I created an 18-inch hole in my kitchen cabinets to slide in a mini 18-inch dishwasher. And I'll be honest with you, this place had one at one point in time, and the water line was already connected with a shut-off valve and everything. I said, great, this is going to be so easy. All I got to do is cut all the plumbing out from underneath the sink for the drain, plumb in the dishwasher drain that they took out from last time one was installed. This is going to be easy. Yeah, it was not easy. I bought a special tool for cutting the pipe, and it shattered the pipe, so I had to go buy a new pipe. I got it all hooked up, and I turned the water on, and I ran the first test run on it. And they say when you hook up a new dishwasher, you're supposed to run a test run just to make sure you don't have any leaks. So I ran that test run, and the only thing that was leaking was the one part I did not change, and that was the water shutoff valve coming up out of the basement, going to the sink faucet. It went up and it went into a T with a shutoff valve, so you could shut the dishwasher line off. Once I opened it up, apparently I broke something inside that valve that just wouldn't stop leaking, and I was like, well, that really stinks. So I had to go back to the hardware store, buy some more parts, and I mean, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain. If anybody here has ever played with PEX tubing, I'm going to show you something real cool. I was actually telling Mama V about this because she's been doing a lot of PEX pulling. Hey, making a home, Lauren, Joel, how you doing? So I was telling Mama V about this because, when you're doing a lot of PEX piping, if you have those crimpers and you're constantly having to hand crimp everything, it wears your hands out, it wears your arms out, it wears your fingers out too, I found this tool. This is called the Ryobi Auto Crimper. It's battery operated. Of course, the light's on, so you're not going to be able to see it work. But what it does is it goes in, it closes the clamp, and then once it's locked on, it opens back up so you can take it off of the clamp and go to the next one. It's super quick, super easy. The light on it really was a godsend because I'm working in a dark cabinet. So that really helped out a lot. And it wasn't that expensive. I already had the batteries and the charger and all that. So that tool was like $125, I think, tool only from Home Depot. So I was pretty impressed with that. Actually, I fell in love with it. So now I got the dishwasher working. Everything's fine with that. And then our electric bill has been running $1,000 a month every month for like the last 7 months. New York State started doing, or New York State Electric and Gas started doing, what they call a smart meter. And what a smart meter does is a smart meter knows everything that's plugged in, whether it's turned on or not, doesn't matter. If it's plugged in, it's saying for it, even if it's not turned on. And we have a lot of things that are plugged in that aren't turned on all the time. My laser's never turned on unless I'm using it to do a job, but it's always plugged in. I'm not going to unplug it just simply because I'm worried about the stupid meter that they put on my house. So our electric bill has been running an average of $1,000 a month. And like I say, it's been a good 7 months where it's been $1,000 a month. And I know one of my biggest expenses has been our seed house, because we have 2 electric heaters on each end of the seed house to keep it warm in the middle, basically. And then we also have to run a dehumidifier in there. So you got 3 different appliances running in there during the winter months. During summer months, I don't need to use the dehumidifier because the air conditioner does that job. But during the winter months, I have to. So I have to have these 2 big electric heaters running in there. I don't know the wattage of them, but I'm going to guess that they're probably 1,500 to 2,000 watts a piece. The big one's probably maybe even more than that. Might be like 1,800 watts to 2,500 watts. But it's up there. Hey, Radio Jonesy, how we doing, brother? So I was like, well, let's eliminate the main electric draw, which is the seed house. I mean, I know the print shop. If I'm running the print shop, which I haven't been lately, I know that's using a lot of electricity, but I haven't been running it. So that's been off. My laser's been off. I've just been concentrating on doing my office work and everybody out there, working and stuff and keeping warm. And so for me, it was like one of these deals where I had to bite the bullet, to say. I mean, I've been planning this new garage for a good 8 months, easy 8 months. Boy, when the money starts coming in from the seed business, I'm going to really get right into this, and I'm going to start building that garage. And I had so much money set aside for it. Of course, my truck's in the shop, and I had so much money set aside for that too. Thankfully, that didn't come out to be more, but it's still in the shop, so maybe it will be by the time it's done. But I decided that it was more important to worry about our $1,000 electric bills now than it was to worry about building my $26,000 garage or whatever it's going to cost me. So I bit the bullet. I know. Everybody says, well, you could have got a Mr. Cool. And you're right, I could. I could have got a Mr. Cool. I could have installed it myself. Life goes on. But there's a couple problems with Mr. Cool. My main issue with Mr. Cool is you have to install it yourself. It's not hard, but you have to install it yourself, which means if there's ever a problem with it, you have to call in somebody else to work on it that wasn't part of the install. And I'm not going to say they don't come with problems. If you look at a Mr. Cool unit, they have it's a heat pump system. You have a mini split on the inside with your main compressor and stuff on the outside. That's a Mr. Cool. There's a lot of brands, but that's the one that's most popular because the lines come pre-charged. You don't need to know refrigeration to hook them up and all that. You can hook it up yourself. The other problem I have with Mr. Cool, and I did a lot of research on this to find out that Mr. Cool comes with a 2-year warranty. A 2-year warranty to me is nothing. If I'm going to spend $2,500 on something and only get a 2-year warranty on it, then it doesn't do me much good. And then if I have to hire somebody to come in to do work on it, then I'm going to be paying them a lot of money because they're going to be working on something that they aren't responsible for. And because of that, I decided, no, I'm not playing this game. I went to Lowe's. I talked to a representative there from Mitsubishi and GE. It's actually a company, our local company, that is called Holbrook Heating and Air Conditioning. And I said, well, come out and just give me an idea. It's a 500 square foot building. Come out and give me an idea what I'm looking at. And we went through all of the different things and stuff. and I ended up buying and having it installed. I didn't do any work at all on this thing. The only thing I did was clear off a section of wall by going down and saying, hey, this section of wall needs to be cleaned by Thursday. That was my whole input on this thing, other than signing the checks, you know. But I paid $7,000 to have a system put in. The whole system's made by General Electric, but the main compressor unit that's inside the heat pump is made by Mitsubishi, which is one of the top of the line. And yeah, Mitsubishis are awesome. But I have the GE with the Mitsubishi components, and that comes with a 12-year warranty and guaranteed by the company that if I have to have any work done on it within that 12-year period, it is covered. Not only just parts, but labor too is covered under a 12-year warranty. To me, that was worth the extra money all on its own. I mean, I'm not an air conditioning guy like Mike is over there at DD5. And even if I was, I still don't think that would be the route that I would take. Because to me, like I say, a 2-year warranty isn't anything. I mean, could you imagine going out and buying a car and having it come with just a 2-year warranty? Oh, you get 2 years of free oil changes and then free inspections for life or whatever. Okay, great, but that 2-year warranty sucks because that tells me it's going to break down in probably 26 months. That's just the way my luck goes anyway. I don't know about you guys, but that's the way my luck goes. So I decided I wasn't playing that game. So I spent $7,000 on that. And no, I wasn't done on a loan. That was cash out of hand. I mean, that was my garage fund basically, part of it. But there's still money there. And of course, the business is doing some weird stuff to me right now, where our pay people want a $7,000 retainer because people want their money back because they're not getting their orders fast enough because we're getting too many of them too quick and stuff. So that's falling into play with it too. So that's all out of my original $26,000 I set aside. And so I decided I'm still going to go forward with bringing in I got the guys coming in next week, I believe. They're going to come in and they're just going to start bringing in loads of fill and filling in over the bank. And when they get the dozer available, come in, level it off, get it all ready to go so my garage can be done. If there's enough money left over after they are done, I have a friend of mine who's a contractor, and I may bring him in and do the cement pad for the garage. That way I at least have that pad done. I also want to do another one in front of my existing garage now, so I have a flat spot to park my camper where it's not down into the yard. It's actually up on its own private pad. So that's 2 areas I'm looking at right now to really concentrate the most on. I'll worry about the garage next year. But yeah, that's my updates for right now. Greg, I'm going to share your update. Greg had a camper just like Simple Life Reclaim bought, all lined up, ready to go. We're going to be bringing it down there to Oklahoma for the Mid-America meetup. And the guy sold it out from underneath him. So now we're talking about maybe bringing a teepee, maybe a couple other tents. I don't know. We're up in arms on what we're going to do, but we are going to be there. I have no idea what we're going to be sleeping in. I mean, like I'd sleep in a big dog crate with a blanket over the top to keep the dew off in the morning. I'd be content. I don't care. I'm used to that kind of weather. And speaking of weather, oh my God, we had snow the other day, like 2 days ago. I was going to go up and start putting more stuff in the dumpster that I'd cleaning up my yard and getting it ready to be taken out. I woke up, my car was covered in snow. It was like 36 degrees out, and it was almost a complete whiteout. And I'm like, what? I understand I'm in New York. I understand it's April. We're kind of hoping for too much. But damn it, we've had days where it was 70 degrees. And now it's back today, 40 degrees. Misting rain all day long. And I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like gray, misty days. I just don't get the ambition and the want to get up and do much because it's just such gloomy weather and stuff. And I don't mind getting wet if I have a purpose. So I can't really use the water part of it as an excuse not to get anything done. But it was just, I've been drowsy all day long. I actually took a nap earlier. Greg woke me up. I was napping. I was like, yeah, there's nothing else I'm going to get done today. However, I do have tomorrow and Monday. Tomorrow is supposed to be, I think, 55 to 60 degrees, somewhere around there. And then Monday's supposed to be back up 65, 70 degrees, bright, sunshiny day. So I'm picking those last 2 days, Sunday and Monday, to get everything I can into this dumpster. Because I already got a hold of the people with the dumpster company and said, I will be ready for you to come get your dumpster out of my yard on Tuesday. On Tuesday, it'll be ready to pick up because I got to get it out of the way because otherwise my landfill guys can't come in and start bringing in the dirt and stuff to fill in out behind. So I have to get the dumpster out of the way. And they're wanting their dumpster. And of course, that's going to cost me more money too. I mean, the dumpster was brought in for $300. Now I've had it for a month. So actually, I might have had it a little bit more than a month. I don't know. It's probably been a month since I've been on here. But I've had it that long. So I'm not sure if they're going to charge me extra for having it here or for as long as I've had it or whatever. I'm not sure. But I do know locally it's like $65 a ton right now to have them take that dumpster to the landfill and dump it. And then, of course, I got to pay for the trucking fee to take it from here to the dump it, and then take it back to their yard or wherever else they're putting the two next. So I know there's going to be a bill included with it. It's not going to be, okay, you just paid everything you need and you're all done. Well, I'm not worried about that part. I know I can cover that part. Actually, I know I can cover that part without a problem. Well, that's not a good day of sales. Sorry, I watch my sales. I every day I get a report from authorized.net who collects our payments and says, this is how much money you made today and this is how many orders came in. And I have to make payroll work on Tuesday. So here I've been all weekend long going, I don't care how much money's in the account. I don't care about payroll. I want you to just ship these orders. Get as many out in this weekend as you can. It needs to happen. And I just found out I probably spent more on postage today than I made for the whole day. Today's sales were terrible, $343. I think I spent $500 so far today in postage, and they're not done yet. Plus, I got all day tomorrow and all day Monday before Tuesday rolls around, so I'll probably lose another $3,000 out of my garage fund just for payroll. But I don't care. I mean, I got to do what I got to do. Speaking of which, I mean, I was pretty upset. There was somebody. I did seed giveaways with both Mama V and with Jason and Tara over the White Rock Homestead, and somebody emailed Tara complaining about my business. And I'll be honest with you, it made me mad. Tara forwarded me the email. I read it and I was like, why are you contacting them? They have nothing to do with this business. It's my business. If you want my email address, you can email them and say, hey, can you send me Dave's email? And they would have done it. It was no problem at all. But the email that I got back from Tara was like, okay, that was pretty rude. And I let them know it. That was just downright rude. Yeah, that's the thing right now. It's tax season. And depending on what area you're in, we'll go back to that in just a minute, actually. So anyway, this lady made me really mad by doing that. So I emailed her back, letting her know, you just really teed me off. And she wrote me back and she says, well, I don't know why that would make you mad. Well, first of all, you're telling somebody that has nothing to do with the business about a complaint you have to do with the business. What do you mean you don't understand why that would make me mad? That's my personal business. It's not their business. And second of all, is that I could get you for slander for what you said, but instead of that, I'm going to be real nice. I'm going to cancel your order. I'm going to give you a refund, and do me a favor. Go to Walmart and buy your seeds next year because I don't think I want to do business with you anymore. I mean, I've had people like that a lot. I had one guy call me up. Yeah, I'm calling about my girlfriend's seed order. Yeah, what about it? Well, she hasn't received it yet. Well, I'm sorry, but she's not the next one in line. There's like 50, 60 people that have orders coming out long before hers. Well, move hers to the front. No, that's not the way it works. We ship them in the order as received. And they tried telling me how I should run my business. and he was being a jerk about it. And I listened to him for about probably 5 minutes, and I was like, "Okay, you can shut up now." And he's like, "What?" I says, "You can shut up now. I think you've said enough. I will give your girlfriend a refund. I will cancel her feed order, and I'm blocking your number because, as far as I'm concerned, you can go to hell. Because if you knew so much about running a business, you'd be running one instead of telling me how to run mine." So I did that. All right, now I'm going to go back to Greg's because this is another part of it. Depending on where you live, right now being tax season especially, a lot of people's taxes, property taxes are included in this too, but taxes alone, individual income taxes, because Trump hasn't got Congress to sign off on keeping the new tax deal down to being law, and it really hasn't been totally implemented yet. We're seeing a higher tax bill, and a lot of people are worried. If they file their taxes, we got 3 more days. Yeah, 3 more days before you have to have the extension. Mine's always done on extension because my bookkeepers are slow. My accountant, I don't think, knows what she's doing too much. But until you file your taxes and you actually get that money in your hand, you don't know if you're really going to get it or not. You know what I'm saying? I used to, when I was younger, going, "Oh, great, I'm going to get back $3,000, man. This is going to be so awesome. I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that." And then the IRS would say, "No, we found something wrong in your tax return. We're only going to let you have $1,200 or whatever." I hear that ding dong. That's what tells me somebody's coming in and out of the house. And I got another one at the bottom of the stairs because my girlfriend's super quiet and sneaks up on me all the time. But I had it where I was planning on that $3,000. I had that $3,000 spent, and I got back $2,000. And I'm like, "What happened to the other 1,000? Well, this was wrong. This was wrong. This was wrong." I'm like, "These taxes were done by Jackson Hewitt. What do you mean they were wrong?" And they didn't explain it. They just said, "No, they were wrong," and took out an extra $1,000. So it happens. I've had many years where I don't get. Yeah, some people are very rude. I get a lot of years where I don't get any tax returns at all. Actually, before I put my truck in the shop, I got a check from the United States Comptroller. All it said on it was taxes. It didn't say what taxes, what year, whatever. It just said taxes, $4,000. Here's your check. That's what made me decide that my truck was in bad enough shape that it needed to go into a shop about a year ago. Actually, yeah, it was probably more than a year ago now, but that's all right. I know it's in good hands. My mechanic's a very good guy, and he won't let it leave unless everything is perfect on it. So I'm content with that. But that 4,000 was set aside just to do that. Hi, Arlene. How you doing? And it turned out to be, I've only paid him $2,800. Actually, when I talked to him, he was almost done with it. And I said to him, I says, "Hey, just out of curiosity, where's my bill at right about now?" And he says, "I think you're at $2,300. I says, "All right, cool." The next day, I went to my bank and I drew out $2,800 on a cashier check, made out to his shop, and I took it to him. And he's like, "Well, what's this for?" "So you don't give up on my truck and I get it back. I really want to go camping this year." We did not go last year. We couldn't go last year. We had no means of pulling our camper, so we couldn't go last year. And so I had to forego camping all last year. Not that we had a lot of time to, but there was a couple of nice weekends that would have been really nice. There was actually a couple of weekends where I just camped in my yard because I wanted to go camping. And it turned out that that $2,300 didn't include some new work that he had to do on it. He pulled it in. He did the inspection on it. He went to pull it back out of the garage after doing the inspection and spun a bearing. I don't know what bearing he spun, but he spun a bearing. And he ordered it. And the company he orders his parts from sent him one. And he looked at it and he says, "I can't use this. It has to be an OEM, a General Motors OEM part. It can't be an off-shelf brand. It don't work." That was a month ago. And I still have no bearing for my truck. I don't know what's on with these parts dealers and stuff. I know the camshafts had to be GM original. and that took forever to get in. The lifters had to be GM original. They had to come in twice because the first set of them just went bad. And I was like, well, change the cam because that's what the lifters ride on. So we did that. We changed that. We changed the oil, the fuel injectors. Uh, I don't even know what else has been changed, to be honest with you. The gasket stuff for the whole motor's been done a couple times now. I don't know what bearing it is that he spun, but I know that he will take care of it. It's in good hands. And when it gets taken care of, I'll know. You know, he'll call me or send me a text and say, hey, Dave, your truck's done. Okay, great. I actually have a neighbor, it's a friend of mine, and he came over last Sunday and he says, hey, your truck's done. When do you want to go get it? And I laughed at him. I said, that's not my truck. And he's like, what? I says, that's not my truck. All of my vehicles in the back window, it says mail carrier with a picture of an envelope. That truck doesn't have that. My truck also has the center divider window. It's automatic. That truck is a solid window. Granted, it's black, it's a Chevy, and it does have a bar light on top. So it is a black Chevy truck that looks kind of like mine. When I first thought it was my truck, I got out, I walked up to it, and as I was walking up to it, I was like, holy shit, I got to buy new tires. And then I looked again and said, oh, that ain't my truck. My truck's in the garage up on the lift, so you couldn't see it. I was like, man. But yeah, it's just been a whole rigmarole thing. And actually, he wants my truck out of there because he needs to use his lift for other vehicles. And until that bearing gets brought in, he doesn't want to take my truck off the lift because it may damage something pushing it out of the shop and then pushing it back in afterwards. So I can understand his point too. But yeah, that's about as far as I've got, guys. I mean, the garage is on hold, but it will be done. It will be done. It's got to be done. But if I can just get the pad out there for now, I'll be content. Straight up, I'll be content. Worst case scenario, if I get the pad out there, I can at least put some kind of a cover over it where I can go out there when it's nice sunny days and put my tools on that pad, run the electric out to it, and use that pad so I'm not cramped in the area that my garage is available to it right now. So I have a big wide open area. You know, we're talking, I think it's going to be 25 by 26 for the pad. And yeah, the garage was 24 by 25, so the pad's 25 by 26. So if I just put a big canopy out there, you know, like a 10 by 20, that's more room than what I have in my garage right now. I could actually put two of those canopies side by side and have double the amount of room I have right now. So that's kind of where I'm looking at. You know, I know those canopies aren't made great. I had one over my camper. A windstorm trashed it right out. That was a drive under carport. It didn't last only about a month and a half. I've had a 13 by 24 foot canopy in my driveway covering up all of my good wood piles of my cherry and my ash. And that got taken out in a windstorm, and that was being held down by a 5-gallon bucket on each corner full of wet cement. It was actually dry cement by that time. So those buckets were like 85 pounds a piece or something like that. And the wind just picked it up and tore it up. And I was like, okay, not a good sign. But I'll wait. We'll see what happens. I mean, both of them were facing in this direction, you know, and the garage is going to be facing north. And we never get a direct north wind. It's always from the east or from the west. So hopefully if I put something up there for a canopy, it'll last longer. And it's only temporary anyway, and I don't care after that, you know. I'm not going to be leaving my tools out there by any means, but at least I'll be able to use the pad. All right, guys, I'm going to call this one tonight. It's been a half an hour now. And, hey, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed your weekend so far and maybe got something accomplished. I don't know. I haven't. I'm trying to. I don't have 1,001 things to do, but I still have 999. Hey, David Glunt, how you doing? You come right in at the last minute. All right, you guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you probably next week. I'm not sure. We'll see. It depends if Greg shares any secrets with me about what else we might be doing to go to the Oklahoma meetup, but we are going to go. Hey, y'all, have a good weekend. Later.